Here, sorry about that stretch. Here, this is Lord Potato, and this is What If Naruto Was Beaten to Near Death, Part 7. So yeah, this is Part 7. Um, but I should also mention, so this is Part 7, but before I go on with the What If, I should also mention that I'm bringing back What If Naruto was from a Joker clan? Yeah, What If Naruto was from a Joker clan? And What If Naruto was released an ancient being? So yeah, I'm gonna bring those two what ifs back and try to finish them, and then after that I might go into Austin what ifs, or maybe no, no. I still haven't really decided, but yeah. Now Barto and One Piece what ifs are still on pause because yeah, I'm being really too lazy to even watch. First of all, I don't feel like watching Barto. Second of all, One Piece, yeah, I'm also too lazy. Barto is cringe. One Piece, yeah, I'm too lazy. I have no clue. I'm just really lazy to have time. Also, what am I missing also? Oh yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen what ifs, I might keep them on pause until the season comes, like the next season, because it's supposed to be coming next year. So I might just hold on to those and just do them next year. Or go through the manga, and I just forgot what happened in that chapter. Yeah. Not the point. Also, what else I wanna mention? I think that's all. But other than that, what was I gonna say? Oh fuck, I forget. Never mind. But other than that, let me begin this is what if. No recaps because I did upload part 6 like a while ago, like 2 days ago. So of course it had to have been a month. But yeah, I only do recaps when it has been either a month or a year ago. But yeah. Of course, that's not the point. Let me begin into what if, and let me shut the fuck up. But yeah. Now, we begin into the Death Forest, somewhat. Mostly Anko explaining the Death Forest. This is where, well, she's explaining about how Death Forest is. Mostly there's a bunch of creatures, either poisonous, venomousness, or whatever. Of course, there's plants that are very toxic, that will kill you. This is where she just goes on and goes on and goes on, and more people are actually fearing the Death Forest. This is where, well, Naruto has no fear because he doesn't give a fuck. But yeah. Of course, this is where Anko, she kind of looks directly at Garu. This is where Garu, who is Naruto entirely, but mostly Naruto changes his name to Garu because he's not actually truly there. You see here, Naruto's only a half version. It's mostly its evil version that is taking control of his body. And also kind of mixture with Garu power. But yeah, mostly Garu's personality. But yeah. So of course, Anko looks directly at his one red eye and one yellow eye. This is where she's looking directly at him for only 2 reasons. First, this motherfucker scares every animal that's in there, in the Death Forest, and any fucking plant in the first place. Any plant that's alive, somewhat. And also, she is scared that Naruto, or should say Garu, is just going to run around putting people underground, 6 feet underground. Now, of course, this is where, well, she kind of glares at him, so he won't do something like that. Of course, he can do it, it's just not really recommended. Of course, this is where, well, she then says, okay, so that's all the rules. Oh, well, time for you to all get your heaven and earth scroll. If you want to give up right now, you can do it. If you want to continue, then continue. But sign these waivers. She like gives them out to almost everyone except Naruto. Because you see here, the reason why she doesn't give it to Naruto is because Naruto isn't going to die. He's going to make people die, not him entirely. But yeah, this is what, well, we go into kind of the Death Force now. Naruto is with his team who contains for the car, well, who contains Junko, Umi, and Shiryuki. Of course, is where, well, and himself mostly. Because yeah, there's 4 people on the team, but yeah. Of course, is where, well, that is happening, and of course, they go through the gate. Now, of course, this is where Naruto is light jogging. And of course, this is where he's a little bit faster when he's light jogging. even though he doesn't usually mean to go that fast, but yeah. But this is where, well, they're jumping to tree and tree. Mostly what's it called, Shiryuki, Junko, and what's it called, Umi. And of course, it's already a struggle to keep up with Naruto's kind of speed because he's unnaturally, what's it called, gifted, they say. But really, it's just nothing but training and just being like breaking his limits every single time through death. And of course, since the last battle was it called with the bridge part that Naruto's on, his was it called strength and everything kind of broke through after kind of getting to that kind of monstrous form. Of course, this is where Naruto can remember everything. Well, mostly his body and his muscles remembers the what's it called feeling of becoming monstrous. So of course, it's kind of adjusting to the power that Naruto unlocked when he went monstrous form, fighting against two Akatsuki members. But yeah, here's where we go into them kind of just running through the forest. Of course, we go into a stone ninja. Well, mostly a stone ninja squad. Now, there's two different stone ninja squads. One was, one that Naruto would have killed in an instant, the other that he kind of threatened, that was Kurisuki's team. Now, this is where, Kurisuki and her two teammates are kind of just looking around. Now, this is where, the pinkish hair girl that's on Kurisuki's team, her name was, I think, what did I call her? I think I call her, what's it called? I'm gonna just call her Shika Morty. So, yeah. She has this pinkish hair that has a little bit of tint of blue. And her eyes are a little bit like a tint of blue, but with pink also. That's where, she is kind of looking at Kurisuki. Also, what's it called? Kurisuki's other teammate that's big and all that. I forgot his name, but yeah, I'm gonna just call him, Big O. I don't remember, okay? It's mostly that one guy that Kurisuki is usually with, but yeah, I forgot his name, so I'm gonna just call him Big O. I forgot what I called him last time. So yeah. Of course, she is kind of looking somewhere else, but of course, what's it called, Big O, and what's it called, Shikamori was kind of looking at Kurisuki just confused because, Kurisuki was looking mostly straight, but this is where her face becomes red. This is where she was actually thinking of something kind of perverted, but mostly a dude that has what's called red and kind of yellow eyes. But yeah. Of course, this is where she was looking somewhere else, but yeah, she was just blushing. This is where Shika Morty was just confused, but yeah. She just said, okay, what's it called, Kurisuki? Where are we going? Kurisuki says, we're going, what's it called? Mostly find a Leaf Ninja team and take their scroll. What do you think? This is where, they say that's really a basic plan, they both said, mostly Shika Morty and what's it called, Big O. That's where, they kind of go off to kind of find a team. Of course, they do manage to come across a team that has, Majin, mostly a guy that's named Majin, and of course his two teammates, Estef and also Raven, but yeah. Of course, where Majin, he kind of looks ahead and sees the team kind of rushing towards him. This is where Majin says, it looks like there's people coming towards us. Estef says, I got this. Ice style. Ice frozen wall. This is where, an ice wall appears right in front of the stone team, and the stone team realize that they have an ice user on that team. This is where, Kurisuki says, just break through it. This is where Big O sends a stone punch towards the ice wall, cracking it. This is where Majin says, I got this. His hand glows, and of course, where a cross appears in his hand. Well, I mean, it was already there. It was just glowing with yellow power. And of course, this cross appears through the ice, smashing into Big O and smashing him into the tree. This is where, what's it called? Shikamori kind of notices. And this is where, Majin says, aren't you that same girl that I could have easily killed? This is where Majin appeared right in front of her. This is where, she realized that what's it called, Majin's really close to her. This is where Majin sends a kick straight to her head, but this is where she managed to block it with her, mostly arm being steel. This is where, Kurisuki had to dodge shadow manipulation, or mostly darkness manipulation, it looks like. And this is where Raven appears. This is where she says, damn, I almost got you. This is where, Kurisuki says, damn it. are mostly at a disadvantage here. This is where, well, Margin says, disappear, you stone ninjas. This is where both Raven and what's it called, SF say, don't, Margin! This is where Margin, he sends a huge cross from the sky, right now going straight down upon all three of them. This is where all of them wind their eyes, but this is where Kurisuke thought really fast. And of course, this is where she sent Stone Dome. This is where a stone dome appears around all three of them. And of course, when the cross lands down to the ground and destroys the stone mostly dome, it crushes everything that was there. But of course, this is where, well, the team already disappeared. This is where both Raven and Esther punches the shit out of what's called Margin in the head. This is where Margin says, ow! God, I know that was a problem. I just realized after a while. This is where, well, they say, damn you idiot. You just got rid of the scroll. This is where, well, Kurisuke's team just realized, well, it's probably best to go after another team that isn't a leaf ninja. But yeah. This is where Shikimori was kind of blushing because, well, first of all, Margin was really close to her face. But of course, Margin knows that this was basically battle. And even Shikimori even noticed that. So of course, this is where, well, she didn't really want to die. Of course, this is where, well, that was happening. Of course, we go into Naruto's team, who is right now, well, meeting up with some rain ninjas. These three rain ninjas decide to attack Naruto mostly, to see because he was the most dangerous out of the other three girls. And of course, when they all send multiple attacks at, well, Garu, mostly those attacks never reach Garu because, well, Estef and what's it called, Umi, they use what's it called water and ice senbons to destroy what's it called a bunch of like water styles. This is where, well, mostly the water senbons just made what's it called, well, became longer from the moisture from thin air. And of course, just stab into, well, a water kind of golem. And of course, mostly it was a called Shikimori kind of uses was a called ice senbon to destroy it in an instant. But yeah. Mostly freeze and then Junko punches through it. This is where, well, the rain ninjas realize that they are fucked because that was basically the biggest plan to attack Naruto with a water golem because they didn't think that Garu would be able to break through it. But of course, where Garu appears right in front of them is where Garu grabs one of them from the face and of course then punches the other one in the face, knocking him out. Mostly he grabs one with his left hand, punches with his right hand, and then fucking knees one with what's called his right leg. This is where all three of them are just knocked the fuck out. They all fell down. Of course, this is where all of them are kind of knocked out on the ground. But this is where, well, Garu looks through their scrolls and realizes that they had a earth scroll that they need because they have a heaven scroll. This is where, well, they said that, well, now that we have a heaven scroll, we can now leave. This is where, well, not a heaven scroll, an earth scroll. This is where, well, Garu says pretty much, yeah. And let's go. This is where, well, they started leaving, but yeah. Now, Garu was the only one that knows about this death forest and where it was called the tower will be exactly at. Because he has been in this forest for a couple of times just because he wanted to train and get his body much stronger to adjust to what's it called the speed of dangerous animals, but yeah. Now, of course, when Garu keeps doing that, kind of just running, this is where, well, Garu kind of noticed something really fast. He noticed the sand team being attacked by these members, similarly that looks like also from Rain Ninjas. That's where, well, he told what's it called Junko, Shiruki, and also, well, Umi to go ahead. He needs to go check on something. That's where all of them say, wait, what? This is where, well, Naruto disappears from their view. This is where they're angry, but of course they keep going ahead. That's where when Garu managed to get towards what's it called, the location of the, what's it called, Wento Shikaku. He sees Rain Ninjas kind of attacking Garu and what's it called, Tamari, and what's it called, well, Kankuro. Now, of course, Garu still defeated that one person that was from the Rain Village and all that. Or was he from the Rain Village or Mist Village? I can't remember. But of course, this is where Garu was now being attacked by another Rain Village ninjas. But these Rain Village ninjas are quite different. The reason why they're different is one has a Joshi necklace. And of course, he seems to have this insane grin. And looks to be a little bit bigger than a normal kid and all that. And of course, he has two knives that are like butcher knives mostly, or one butcher knife and the other one looks like a very long knife. And of course, he is grinning because he has blood and those sorts of called knives, mostly from Tamari and Conqueror because they seem to have scratch marks also, or mostly these cut marks. And of course, then there's also this other person that's next to him. This person seems to have like this metalish helmet on his face, covering up his kind of eyes, mostly his eyes, nose, mostly his entire face, except for his mouth. His mouth seems to be having like these sharp metallic teeth. Of course, well, his helmet seems to have like these two metallic horns that's coming out steam a little bit, which is weird, but yeah, it does have like these metal holes in the what's called like looks like to be armor, whatever. Of course, well, he also has this armor. Well, mostly not this armor. He has what's it called. Well, of course, he also has this kind of weapon next to him. That's a scythe that's connected with a chain. But of course, instead of the end of the other chain containing like some kind of other weapon, it's like this metal steel kind of bell or something, just fully metal. It kind of looks to be that shape and all that. Now, of course, it has also metallic spikes, so it looks like to be a mace kind of connected with. This is where, well, the last teammate of, well, their kind of trio teammates and all that, is this person with kind of purplish hair. Now, of course, her eyes are closed, but of course, this is where, well, she's able to kind of be up in the air, kind of like paper, like using paper. This is where, well, she's also using an ability to kind of look down or whatever. This is where, well, she's mostly like this airborne kind of user or whatever. This is where, well, the person that's in front of what the call Gara is the person with the kind of scythe and all that. This is where the person says, "Come with us one tilt in Cherokee, or you will die, and we will kill your what's it called siblings." Gara says, "Damn it, Tamari, Conqueror." This is where Tamari says, "We're fine. We just has a little bit of blood, mostly a little bit of wound." This is where the person that has a Joshi necklace, he's laughing, saying, "Do you think that you people think that's just a small wound? You see here, I am part of the Joshin cult, and since my leader, my mostly master, has taught me how to do this." This is where he kind of like throws one of the knives down that still has some blood in it, but of course grabs the mostly it was the butcher knife that he threw down. And this is where he grabs the necklace and says, "Listen, Lord Joshin, I am one of your new sacrificers, and I am here to give you some sacrifices." This is where, well, he does kind of like drop some blood on the ground and starts making a circle that has a triangle. This is where, well, he also does kind of like has the knife. This is where he licks it, and this is where he then stabs himself into the leg. This is where Tamari felt the pain. This is where she falls down. This is where Gara says, "Tamari." This is where Conqueror says, "Tamari, you okay?" "No, I don't know." This is where, well, this person is laughing and saying, "I will get revenge to whoever killed Hiran or somehow defeated him." This is where, well, he's laughing and saying that I won't be defeated by the likes of you three. This is where he looks at the person who has the mask and the scythe. He says, "Hanzo, hurry up and kill them, or hurry up and take out the one-tails." Hanzo says, "What do you think I'm doing?" This is where, well, this person is named Hanzo, even though Hanzo Salamander was killed a while ago during, during the fight between Nagato and Conan. But of course, for some reason, this person doesn't look entirely to be like Hanzo, but a smaller, probably fanboy version of Hanzo. But yeah, of course, is where the person rushes at Gara. This is where he swings down his scythe. Of course, this is where he added chakra, and it ripped through the sand pretty easily because it had what's called water chakra in it. This is where it just easily cuts through it. Water and lightning chakra entirely. But yeah, this is where, well, Gara realized that he's screwed because his sand defense was easily just penetrated. This is where Hanzo says, sorry about this one, Tails. Will you be coming along with us? He throws the mace, mostly the other, part of the chain that has the metallic kind of ball in it. Or it looks like the metallic ball, but it's really not a ball. And of course, he throws it at, does it call Gaara? And Gaara says, shit. This is where before the metallic ball actually hits Gaara, the thing was grabbed in an instant, mostly the chain, before it even hit Gaara. And of course, it fell down. This is where, Hanzo was saying, who are you? This is where, the person, mostly the Joshin, stopped, and also the girl that was on top of the air was confused. She didn't even notice this person. This is where both, Tamari, Kankuro, and even Gaara noticed a person with whitish hair. Of course, he had a a black tank top that's very, like, tight, and showed to be having muscles and all that. That is Naruto, of course. This is where, Gaara, mostly. This is where he, still holding on to the metallic thing, the metallic chain. And of course, water and electricity is going through it. Electricity is, hurting Naruto. Nah, Naruto smashes his leg to the ground, making the electricity go through his body and just go to the ground, mostly. Because mostly electricity and lightning, if you don't understand this about mostly electricity and all that, mostly it will figure a way to get to the ground, mostly. So yeah, that's why if your house explodes into fire or whatever, it's just maybe your electrician didn't actually put the grounding mostly into one of your switches or whatever. So yeah, or outlets. But yeah, I'm just saying this. But yeah, but of course, Naruto looks at this person, and this is where he pulls the chain, and of course pulls Hanzo towards Naruto. This is where Gaara then punches this person in the face, launching him straight towards a tree, crashing the tree. This is where, Hanzo is trying to get up. This is where, Hanzo is shocked. Of course, where, Naruto did let go of the chain when he punched the shit out of the person while pulling and punching, but yeah. Of course, where, the guy in Joshin says, hey, if you don't want that girl to die, I suggest for you to leave. We don't need you. Seriously, you don't need me, even though I'm the 9th Shinchuriki? Or what? This is where, the Joshin says, what? You're? You must be stupid. This is where Naruto appears saying, backhand. He says, backhand destruction head decapitated. This is where, Naruto slaps the shit out of this guy, backhanding this guy also, just like he did to Hiran. He ripped this guy's head entirely off and launched this guy out of it. Now, of course, there's one thing in problem between this guy. He doesn't have immortality, in immortal, body, like Hiran. He can do that, jutsu and all that, just to kind of terrify people, but he's not a master in becoming immortal and all that, just like Hiran. So, of course, that guy is dead. He got one hit, and he's gone. This is where Hanzo widened his eyes. This is the 9th Shinchuriki, and this guy's stronger than the One Tails. This is where, the girl, right now on top, is looking down. Her eyes, right now looking down with her, when she looked down, she kind of looks down with her one eye is ember color, and the other color is kind of purple. Now this is where, she then says, interesting, so he's the 9 Tails. This is where Gaara jumps up in the air, right now appearing right in front of her. This is where she widened her eyes. She wasn't expecting this person to just jump up in the air. This is where Gaara grabs her from both shoulders and just lands back down to the ground. Of course, smashing her down to the ground in an instant. This is where, she goes, this is where, she said, you son of a bitch. This is where she sends paper at Gaara, but Gaara just rips through them all of it, saying, fist of flowing, warping wind slashing steel. This is where he easily rips through all of them. And this is where, he then just smashes the palms right into her stomach, knocking her out. She's knocked out, but yeah. This is where Hanzo says, damn it, you took out 2 of my teammates. I should probably take you out. This is where he summons out something. He bites his thumb and then goes to summoning. Summoning style, salamander. This is where, he pulls out the salamander. The salamander roars at Naruto, or grumbles, or roars, or growls, or whatever. This is where, and looks straight at Naruto. And this is where Garu says, "Do I look like I give a shit?" This is where, well, Hanzo says, "You're going to have to give a shit because I'm going to kill you." He does it where, well, now this is where, well, Naruto looks at the salamander. The salamander rushes at Garu. This is where Hanzo says, "Die." This is where, well, Garu turns around and sees Gaara and the others. This is where he says, "You better leave. Walk away now. Disappear from now. Or you're gonna get, right now, caught in the crossfire." This is where, well, he then turns back around. And this is where, well, Garu puts his hand down right next to his, well, kind of near his, waist and all that. And this is where, well, he puts his other hand, well, near it also. Mostly his, what's it called? Well, this is where, well, he holds his punch, well, not near his waist, behind him, mostly to, the back of him. And this is where, well, he was about to swing until he puts, what's it called, his other hand, his left hand, near his right hand. And this is where, well, Garu says, "I remember copying this move from a man that I can't remember his name, but I think he was named, well, a hero name, Ball's Cape. And this is a move to show that I will surpass my limits, to show one day that he didn't mistake his power in saving me one day." Now, of course, I remember doing this, before I go on with this what if, I remember doing this, sorry about pausing it, but I remember doing this what if before the whole, or not the whole thing with, Garu being saved by One Punch Man when he went back in time travel, so yeah. So, of course, I'm changing a little bit in the beginning, but yeah. But of course, not the point. Of course, through our Garu, he sent the punch straight towards the salamander that was rushing him. This is where he says, serious punch." He swings that punch straight to the air, slow motion, the salamander getting closer, Hanzo laughing and grinning. Of course, one of his his eyes are showing, and they show to be this very fiery reddish orange color. Right now, just grinning and all that. Of course, having veins, red veins in his eyes, and this is where he says, "I will kill you." This is where, well, the punch connects mid-air, right in front of the salamander, and kaboom. Destroys a whole part of the fucking Death Forest. Anyone that was connected in that radius was gone. I'm sorry, but they were gone. Hanzo and the salamander were no longer standing, were gone entirely. But of course, the only thing that fell down from the, air was, well, Hanzo's helmet. Mostly the helmet that he was wearing. It had some cracks, well, it still had that crack, mostly that showed his eye and all that. But of course, it just had his helmet. This is where, well, Garu picks it up and says, "This is pretty interesting." This is where, well, Tamari, Gaara, and even, Conqueror widen their eyes. They almost get pushed back a little bit from the force of that punch. But, holy fuck, there's a huge, just this huge area that looks like a blast, just went through it like a Kamehameha. No, it's mostly a punch. And of course, it showed the, when Hanzo was dying, we go to Hanzo. He saw the punch coming towards him, this huge punch, and the only thing that he saw in front of him was death. He died. He was gone. He was no longer with anyone. He was gone. Of course, that's not to mean the girl who had purplish hair didn't die. She was actually kind of near, mostly not entirely in front of Garu, mostly because Garu was actually in front of a Hanzo, but of course she was pushed back a little bit also. Of course, Tamari did kind of grab her body so she wouldn't be pushed back and smashed into a tree and actually died or something. But of course, everyone was winding their eyes. We go into some people that were checking out the, Death Forest, mostly some other teams. And when they kind of come across this kind of, giant crater, they're confused because they just walk over and there's no trees in this one huge, what's it called, just strip of line. They think it's a ravine in the first place and realize that a ravine might have been bigger, or what's it called, like a, yeah, ravine or whatever. But of course, this is where, well, it's just, looks like someone just did a Kamehameha mostly. This is where so many people are confused. Even what's it called, tuning instructors, they saw this shit and they were confused. And they look all the way down and they see none other than Garu. His shirt is ripped because the force of that punch was strong. Of course, it worked. Well, Garu wasn't fully prepared to actually kind of contain the blast of the radius. So, of course, his arm is a little bit kind of rippish and torn. So, of course, kind of twisted. This is where, well, Garu, he then looks straight down and sees a lot of people. And that's where he grins, saying, people for him to kill, he. This is where he looks behind and looks at, what's it called, Gara, Tamari, Kankuro, and even the girl. And this is where he says, are you all okay or what? This is where, well, they all kind of nod their head once. This is where Naruto says, good, because I'm going to go murder all those people that's down there. This is where, well, everyone almost see Gara says, thank you again. This is where Garu says, you don't need to thank me. I only do this because I'm... What did I say? This is where Garu says, I'm a monster that helps the underdog. So yeah, bye. So of course, Garu is still going on the belief of him being a monster, but at the same time, him being the underdog protector, mostly someone that believes that he will fight for only those who are the underdogs. Because that's truly what Garu's kind of true mission was in One Punch Man, because he wanted to fight for those who are kind of the underdogs, those who were suppressed and all that from society. So yeah, this is where, well, Garu, he rushes down to the ravine, sees a lot of people, and this is where he starts clocking people out, punching them, knocking them out. Even though with his hurt arm, he's still just beating the shit out of random people. He saw Chunins and say, come here, boy! This is where all the Chunins realize that they what's it called? They think that Garu thinks that they are in the tuning exam, which are not, but they're trying to run away. And this is where Garu already follows him to just beat the shit out of them. But yeah, of course, where Garu comes back, taking all the scrolls from the different teams that he easily beat the shit of. There were rain ninjas, grass ninjas, just small little village teams. Also, that one stone village team that he wanted to murk in the first place, that wasn't Kurisuke's team. Also, some cloud village team, and yeah, so on and so on. This is where, well, Garu has a bunch of scrolls right now in a bag. This is where he kind of looks back to, Gaara's team. For fuck's sakes, why can't I speak for God of Love? What the hell? Or Love of God, whatever. Of course, where, well, he then looks at Gaara. He says, what scroll do you guys have? This is where, well, Tamari says, an earth scroll. Here's the heaven scroll. This is where Tamari says, you're just gonna give this to us? But why? This is where, well, Garu says that those people look to be what's it called, part of some organization that wants to collect some tail beasts. Because why would they target the one tails and also kind of be grinning for the nine tails? The normal people would have been running. These people didn't run at all. I'm also gonna have to be taking that girl to kind of question and why she mostly attacked you. This is where, well, Tomari says, you're not gonna do anything weird to her, are you? Garu says, do I look like the person to do weird shit? No. I'm not gonna be doing anything weird. The only thing I'm gonna be doing is torturing her, just like my auntie, well, mostly just like my sensei's kind of GF mostly does. But yeah. This is where, well, Tomari says, huh, okay. This is where, well, Garu is right now having a bag in one hand and then carrying what's it called, the girl, and another mostly on his back. But yeah, this is where Garu disappears. But yeah, Kankuro, he falls down and says, man, I feel tired as hell. This is where Tamari says, you're gonna have to carry me. This is where Kankuro says, fine, let's go. This is where Garu, he also says, you also gotta carry me, I'm tired. This is where Kankuro says, son of a... Fine. So he's struggling to carry them because he sucks at carrying people. But yeah, he then realized he can use his puppets to kind of carry them. But yeah, he does that anyway. This is where, well, we go into the tower. Of course, where well, Garu gets to the tower, or mostly gets towards his call Majin, because he kind of finds Majin, throws a scroll of what's it called Earth Scroll into his face, like smash it into his face. This is where Majin just falls down to the ground and saying, "Ah, the fuck was that? Garu, get your ass back over here! I'm gonna fight you for fucking doing that." It's where, well, Pope Raven instead of saying, "Shut up, we already have an Earth Scroll now," thanks to him. This is where, well, Majin is pissed. This is where we go into, well, vengeance, and also, well, his two other teammates, Psyche and also, what's it called, Iwabi. But yeah, this is where, well, they're kind of walking until an Earth Scroll smashes into Vengeance. Well, misses Vengeance when Vengeance had to dodge in an instant. He dodges to the, like, ducks down, and Iwabi gets hit in the face. This is where Psychic catches it with a, what's it called, using his Psychic. It says, "Oh, thanks, what's it called, Naruto?" This is where, well, mostly Garu. This is where, well, Iwabi says, "Out of my face! You fucker, get back here!" This is where, well, another team we go into another team. This is where this team contains of he and also, well, a girl who is able to use blood, and her name is Katsui. And of course, where, well, her other teammate that's well named, so of course, their third teammate is named Asuka. Of course, this is where, well, she has this black hair with the ponytail, but yeah, and her what's called Kekokenkai ability is somewhat just being really stealthy. Like, her chakra can be really freaking stealthy for, yeah. It's like barely even shown. So yeah. Of course, it went, well, he was just thinking, you gotta find a heaven scroll. Where to find this is where heaven scroll flies past, and of course smashes into his face, even though he could have transformed to fire, but he was just confused and what the fuck that was exactly. It was coming extremely fast. He couldn't react that fast. This is where he gets smashed, it was like smacked down to the ground, and this is where, well, Garu appears saying, "Yo." This is where, well, Asuka and Katsuri kind of says, "Oh, Garu." This is where they both kind of wave at Garu. And this is where Garu says, "Yo." This is where, well, he's like, "Fuck you." This is where Garu says, "Oh, don't complain. I got you a scroll for free." This is where he says, "No, it's not for free. I know that you want something. What the hell do you want exactly?" "Oh, nothing." "Nothing? Are you sure about nothing?" This is where, well, Garu says, "Yeah. It's not like I'm gonna make you do something so terrifying that you don't want to do it. So you might going to have to give me that scroll back." This is where, well, he realized that he hasn't found anyone during this Death Forest. He realized Garu might have murdered them already, and he realized that he will fail if he says no. This is where he says, "Fine, I'll take it." Garu grins and says, "Good. Bye." This is where Garu disappears in an instant. This is where, well, he says, "I'm going to kill that bastard one way or another." This is where, well, we go into, well, the, what's it called, well, tower. Now, of course, this is where Garu is, well, most of his team is still waiting for him. This is where, well, two teams managed to get there. Well, two different teams. First of all, the team, well, mostly not, two teams. Mostly what's it called, a team managed to get there, and that is what it called Samui's team, who is from the Cloud Village. And of course, she is just looking at the three kind of girls, just wondering why the hell they're waiting there. And of course, well, they're just waiting just because Garu needed to be here because he went to a quick stop or something. And of course, Garu appears. Now, of course, well, they're all, well, mostly someone's team is barely getting in there. And of course, someone did turn around just to see what's happening. This is where, well, she sees Garu appear in an instant with a huge bag of a bunch of scrolls that he just dumps down into the ground. This is where somebody won her eyes. This is where Amoe and even what's it called, Car won their eyes. And how many scrolls there are. This is where Garu, he also kind of like tells, what's it called, what's it called? He also tells Shirayuki to kind of use her ice ability to freeze, what's it called, this girl, and mostly kind of tie her up, but yeah. This is where Shirayuki hesitates, but she does it anyway. This is where both Junko and Umi asking who the girl is. This is where, well, Garu says, "That's the problem. I don't really know much." Her two teammates managed to summon out crazy shit. First of all, one of them was actually a part of that one creepy cult. I don't even think you actually met that one person. But there was one person I was fighting during the bridge that was able to be immortal and hard enough to kill. But of course, I managed to just knock his head and realize he can't regen his head. But of course, he was creepy as hell. Of course, there was also someone that was able to summon out a salamander. Now, if I remember right, during the Rain Village, the salamander, well, mostly Hanzo's salamander, died all of a sudden without a trace. And I was just confused in how this person was able to be summon out a salamander. Now, of course, I just defeated those two, and also this girl is confusing because she can easily use paper manipulation. But the one thing that's strange about her is her chakra. Yes, Kurama did tell what's it called Garu about her chakra. It's so strange because it kind of feels like a dojutsu that he has seen over a millennia year about. But yeah, during his father's age. But yeah, this where Garu just says it's just strange. This where they said okay. What's with all those scrolls? I went on a murder spree. This is where they sigh and say, fine, good enough answer. They open the scroll, and this is where, who appears is none other than Gojo. Gojo says, hey guys. So, did you guys manage to come here? This is where, Gojo looks around and sees the scrolls and the girl. And this is where, he's confused. He looks at Garu and says, okay, first of all, I want to ask you, how many scrolls are in that bag? How many people were in this, what's it called? A whole thing again? This is where, Gojo says, damn it. Never mind. Who's that girl? Also, are you gonna try to somehow make a, wait a minute. Let me guess. You're trying to make a, head up. This is where, Garu says, I'll punch in the face. No, I'm not. I'm just confused about her. She, for some reason, gives me the worst feelings of those two people that I had to fight in the, in that, bridge. What do you mean? Oh, those two people were red clouds? Yep. They're confusing as hell, but for some reason she gives me that also feeling, because underneath her like, grayish, darkish purple jacket has those red clouds. Interesting. Huh. Well, what do you want me to do about it? This is where Gojo said, if she's part of from the Rain Village, then we can't really keep her because it will be kind of outlaw mostly. Yeah, I know that. But we can always say that she's dead and her other two teammates are dead because they are dead. This is where, Gojo says, what did you do to them? I murdered them. This is where, Gojo says, okay. One was able to use a salamander and his name was Hanzo. This is where Gojo looks and narrows his eyes at Garu and says, what? Yeah, I also have his helmet. It might have some DNA in it. Whatever. I don't care. This is where, Gojo takes the helmet. This is where, he also then says, and what about the other person? He was a part of the Joshin cult, I guess. This is where, Gojo says, I guess so. Okay. Then, we will then prove that she's dead. This is where Gojo first grabs the girl and disappears in an instant. And of course, this is where, he appears right in front of Anko. This is where Anko says, huh? Gojo? This is where her face just brightens up and just rushes towards Gojo and just jumps on him, saying, Gojo, Gojo, Gojo. This is where Gojo says, nice to see you again, Anko-chan. This is where Anko says, her face was nothing but a reddish color. And this is where, she's basically sticking onto, Gojo's, body mostly, by putting both of her legs behind Gojo. This is where, Anko says, so, what do you want? Gojo says, I have a little thing that you can interrogate. Or terrorize. Not terrorize. Mostly, not terrorize. Terrorize. Bleh. I can't speak for the love of God. Terrorize. This is where, Uncle says, really? Who is it? This girl with purplish hair. For some reason, one of my students is saying that she's probably part of some organization that's probably wanting to beat you. This is where, Uncle says, got it. This is where she grabs the girl. And of course, this is where, she then says, bye, Gojo-kun. And what's it called? Uncle before leaving. Before she left, she then turns around and gives out this kind of lustful look and says, also, Gojo, remember later on, after this whole tuning thing, and of course when the month starts, you're gonna have to come to my house, and you can't say no this time. This is where she gives out a very lustful grin, and this is where, well, Gojo grins at her and says, "Got it. What happened if I have to go chase after my bro and all that, or my younger cousin? I might not be able to come." This is where Uncle says, "Screw your cousin, for the love of God. The idiot doesn't really want to train. And screw it, I don't care if he gets weaker than me. Nah." This is where, well, Gojo grins and says, "Okay, bye." This is where Gojo disappears, and this is where Uncle disappears also. This is where, well, Gojo says, "I got someone to terrorize her." This is where, well, Garu nodded. This is where, well, Gojo says, "Well, then let's go inside." This is where they go inside, and of course, 5 days later passes, and of course, Garu sees all his friends. He sees Margin, Vengeance, what's it called? He also sees his other, mostly his other friends, like Margin's two teammates, who was one girl who was named Estef, and the other girl is named Raven. Then what's it called? The other two teammates of what's it called? Vengeance, who is what's it called? Iwa and Psyche. And then his other two teammates from He, or mostly other friends, and that's what's it called? Katsuri and what's it called? Akasa. But yeah. This is where, well, everyone is seeing how so many leaf ninjas manage to pass, but yeah. Of course, some sound ninjas and some other ninjas, but yeah. Mostly just leaf ninjas, but yeah. This is where, well, Harusen says, "Well, let's begin into this, what's it called? Tuning sim, mostly preliminary round. First match, it is Garu versus Kiba." This is where Kiba says, "Alright, I'll be fighting against the guy who kicked my ass." Well, not Kiba, no. Kiba versus He. This is where Kiba says, "Alright, I'm going against some smaller clan." He says, "Don't call me small. Just because you're a brainless moron doesn't mean you gotta call me small. You're just a weakling against me." This is where, well, Kiba and them both Korean, thinking that they're basically hot shit mostly, but yeah. This is where, well, they both start fighting, and of course, this is where He dodges multiple, like, slash marks from Kiba, and this is where He then grabs Kiba from the face and says, "Inferno Blaze, burning face." This is where, well, he burns Kiba's face, and Kiba was right now unable to see that well, because there's a lot of heat into his eyes. And this is where, well, Kiba then gets hit in the stomach twice from two punches from, what's it called? He said turbo flame punches, and just smashed two of them into what's it called? Kiba's gut, mostly. This is where Kiba goes, "Clip." This is where, well, he says, "Inferno Blaze Blast." This is where he sticks out his hand and he blasts Kiba away, smashing him to the wall. Now, Akamaru didn't fight against He because he realized, fire, fire, fire. No. Bad. Very bad. But yeah. This is where, well, we go into the next match. The next match, it is Majin versus, well, Suki Morty. But yeah. This is where, well, Suki Morty. Mostly, what's it called? Shika Morty. But yeah. This is where, well, she then says, "I'm gonna be fighting against you, you bastard." Majin says, "I suggest you give up. Or do you want me to hurt you really bad? But I'm not trying to hurt such a cute girl like you." This is where, well, her face becomes red and says, "Shut up." This is where Majin says, "Got it." This is where Majin says, "Cross the divine heaven." This is where, well, she gets ready to fight him, but of course feels like gravity just smashed upon her and smashed it down to the wall. Mostly ground. This is where Majin says, "She given up." This is where she says, "No, wait." This is where the proctor says, "I see. Unable to move and fight, then giving up." This is where, well, she looks angry and very pissed at Majin. Majin yawns and just walks away. Next is Vengeance. Vengeance was going against, well, not Shikamaru, Shino. Now Shino sends multiple of his bugs straight towards Vengeance, and Vengeance says, "Star particle release." This is where, when the bugs get close, they all get sliced and ripped apart, or just turn into stars and easily evaporate. But yeah, getting close to Vengeance. Now Vengeance gets close enough to Shino that it looks for Shino to get into close range, but that shouldn't be full, because when Shino tries to get closer toward Vengeance says, "Shooting stars from underneath." This is where, well, a what's it called, star underneath that Shino stepped on. He stepped on some kind of star that kind of just lifts up underneath him, just appear. This is where, well, shooting stars kind of shot from underneath that, well, not underneath, mostly from that star. Right now piercing Shino, and Shino just falls down to the ground, unable to fight. This is where Vancha says, you should have not fought me like that. This is where, well, next it is, what's it called, well, next battle, it is, well, Neji Hyuga versus Garu. Well, yeah, Garu. This is where, well, well, not Neji. It was mostly Rock Lee versus Garu. This is where my guy says, interesting, the power of youth. They are so youthful. Don't you think, Gojo-san? This is where Gojo says, huh? Yeah, of course, my guy. This is where he does a thumbs up and even what's called my guy. And this is where Kakashi says, my friend. Why, Gojo? Why you gotta take my friend? He is only thinking in his head, but yeah, he becomes more lonely. Now, of course, where Kakashi, he's already lonely, and you remember when Kakashi says, I have no one left because they're all dead? He still have my guy, but whatever. This is where, well, never mind, I'm going on a rant. Now, of course, what, well, Garu and what's it called, Rock Lee both get on a stance to fight, but this is where I'm gonna leave it off for, well, part, 4? No, not part 4, part 7. But yeah, I don't know why I said 4. Part 7 of this What If. So yeah, it's a little bit shorter than the other one, but other than that, have a nice potato day, potato night, potato, and good night. But yeah, I'm feeling a little bit tired. Now, but yeah.